It's a beautiful drive up to Dharamsala, this former British summer hill station, up through the foothills, past the Hindu pilgrims in the river, past the Deodar cedar groves. And Lower Dharamsala looks just like any newly middle-class Indian town. But Upper Dharamsala, it's probably little changed from the 60s and 70s, with backpackers, trekkers, tourists, street merchants, pilgrims, monks, beggars, and lots of noise. This general store was established in 1860 and still sells some goods, although now it's mostly a tourist attraction. When Dharamsala was a hill station, St. John's was the local church. It was built in 1852. The church itself and its lovely cemetery are still here, surrounded by the Himalayan foothills. Many Brits died while they were here from the difficult conditions in India. This first one from an attack from a bear, the second one here on the eve of his marriage for unknown reasons, and others just from battle or disease. Dharamsala, of course, is also known as the home of the Tibetan government in exile, the home of the Dalai Lama and his temple, Tibetan Buddhist monasteries, and of course the home of many Tibetan refugees who fled from the repressive actions of the Chinese. The official library houses Tibetan Buddhist materials and writings. When Buddhism spread north from India over the Himalayas about 1,000 years ago up into Tibet, Tibetan monks and lamas translated these writings from Sanskrit into Tibetan. Some were inscribed onto wooden boards and others onto long, narrow sheets of paper. These items were kept in the many monasteries throughout Tibet. The fleeing monks managed to spirit out some of these materials before the monasteries were destroyed by the Chinese after they invaded. This is part of the palace complex, which includes the Dalai Lama's residence, temples, and a Tantric Buddhist monastery. Tantric Buddhist practices are secret, but we learned that they involve intensive meditation and visualization and a faster route to enlightenment. This is the Tibetan Institute for Preserving the Culture. Here, Tibetan kids are apprenticed to learn all forms of the Tibetan arts. I found it very odd that they are not in school. However, I was told that it's preferable that they learn a trade. I noticed with particular interest some of these kids' interest in aspects of Western culture. Here's what some of the finished products look like, and many of them are sold in the gift store, the museum store, for prices that are very high even by Western standards. The third in line to succeed the Dalai Lama is the Karmapa, a man of 21 who managed to escape Tibet when he was 14. That's Chinese Tibet. We had a private audience with him. He's very self-possessed and modest. He's standing in the back row. This is the Dalai Lama's throne. We learned that he prefers, however, to go out into the courtyard where he gives presentations and readings from Tibetan texts. Many of us agreed that this was one of our favorite images, the four friends, the elephant, the monkey, the rabbit, and the bird. This image appeared in many of the monasteries in Ladakh and, of course, here in Dharamsala. It's a Tibetan Buddhist allegory about the interrelationship of all beings and about the importance of perspective. I'll let you look it up on Google.